Hello, my name is Charles Knight. I am not a tech reviewer in any way, shape or form. I'm just a regular consumer. I recently came across the brand new Huawei Mesh 7, which is a triband Wi-Fi 6 mesh network kit. And I went online, I looked for reviews, I could not find any real reviews of this gear. I found one review in Norwegian, and then the rest were all paid promotional items. The very short review is I think this kit is dog shit and I would not buy it, okay? That's my personal opinion. If you want to know why, continue to listen. I'll get a little bit techie because I'm a bit of a techie nerd, but I'll try and keep it relatively simple. And just to show, it's quite heavy. I do, look, here it is, I do have this. So, the first thing, my first problem. The gear arrived and it recommends to download the Huawei AI Life app to manage the setup. I've got no problem with that. I use Orbi Mesh Network and that's got an app, so no problem. Except the Play Store app is purely there as a bait and switch. And it's a bait and switch in that when you download the app, it tries to update itself. No problem. The only purpose of the update is to tell you the app is out of date and to turn off the Android security on your phone. I use a Pixel that prevents you sideloading apps, and then it tries to redirect you to Huawei's own store. Now, I've got no major problem with sideloading apps, but I personally, because I use my device for work, I don't, in my security model, turn off Android security protection to sideload apps. If you want to do that, absolutely fine, and you know that's up to you, but it didn't give me a good feeling. You know, why am I sideloading apps to set this up? So, no problem. I'll use the Wi-Fi. I'll use the desktop interface. I'll go into the desktop setup, and actually, it's kind of okay. It's very basic. Some of the features are hidden. You have kind of hidden tabs that, unless you click on random titles, you don't really know what they are. So, I go into the desktop to set it up. On my home network, I use something called Pi-hole. Pi-hole is a small Raspberry Pi device, and to cut a very long story short, it blocks all ad traffic on my home network. So any request that comes into my home network from the internet goes via my Pi-hole, which is a little Raspberry Pi device, and it blocks all of the ads. It's very easy if you're reasonably technical to set up. It just takes a few tweaks in a router. Not on this router. So you can change the DNS settings. Except I could not get it to work in any way, shape or form with Pi-hole. Either if Pi-hole was set up as the only DNS, just wouldn't work. If you set up an alternative DNS, it would reroute via the alternate DNS. This kit, for whatever reason, does not like Pi-hole, and I presume as well any other gear you run where you try to internally manage your own DNS settings. Why that is the case, I've no idea. I'm techie enough I can play around with this stuff. I couldn't get it to work. So if you are doing anything non-standard, this is not the gear for you, I think. Or if you are a power user, I would not recommend it. So, didn't like the sideloading of apps. Couldn't get to work with my own internal network and Pi-hole. But you might be saying to yourself, I don't use Pi-hole, I don't care about sideloading the apps. Fair enough. Here's the big kind of killer problem. The range on this is crap, basically. So, in my setup, I have a living room. This office is on the first floor. I have a living room where the main router is, and next to the living room is the kitchen. Okay? This single unit, the performance between the living room to the kitchen, which is about, I'm not very good with distance, I don't know, 5-6 meters, was dire. On my old Orbi, which is Wi-Fi 5, I can easily get 300-400 between the front room and the kitchen. This maxed out at 60 or 70 megabytes, and worse than that, the connection kept dropping. So it dropped out the connection. So, A, I don't like the app. B, I couldn't get to work with my internal network. But C, the killer, I think, if you are upgrading to Wi-Fi 6, is the range is dire. Or at least it was dire for me. I completely accept other users may have an entirely different experience. But personally, I would not recommend this. I did not get a good feeling on any level. From setup to performance to anything. It looks nice, by the way. And it's got some nice features, like you can tap your phone on the top to set up additional devices. Personally, for me, though, as what I consider a power user, no. If you think that was a slightly rambling review, I'm not a tech reviewer. I'm just a guy who bought this gear, okay? So, no. The one thing I will say about Huawei, their returns are nice and straightforward, I think. All you do is I indicated a review and a nice man is going to come tomorrow and pick this up from my home. I'm 100% remote. I work from home. So, if you are considering buying this gear, obviously, if you're in the United Kingdom, the returns policy is fine. So you could try it. I personally, though, no. Have a nice day.